Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakarin with a look at some of the top stories that we're following. I want to start with news of this crash on 75. So just want to let you know that all lanes have now reopened after this multi-car crash. If you've been following this story, this was in Cobb County. There was this multi-vehicle crash earlier this morning, and it actually ended up blocking lanes for about 90 minutes. It happened just past Canton Road near Allgood Road, just around 10:30 in the morning. So Marietta police said that there were two separate crashes. They said the first one was minor, involving two cars, but then a third vehicle crashed into the scene. The driver of that third vehicle was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Drivers were urged to find an alternate route, such as Highway 41 Cobb Parkway. But again, the great news here is that 75 has reopened after this multi-vehicle crash. The cause of this still under investigation, but it should not impact your commute. That is the good news. Okay, also want to let you know about this. Really a troubling case out of Gwinnett County. This is 34-year-old Natalia Barros. She's in custody. She's accused of murdering her 8-year-old stepdaughter. Today she had her first appearance in court. Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm is at the Gwinnett County Jail in Lawrenceville.
Ma'am, you have 4 felony charges. Do you know what they are?
Wearing a jailhouse jumpsuit, 34-year-old Natalia Barros faced a judge whose job it is to make sure she understands the charges she faces. She told him she's a stay-at-home mom. He said he's not at liberty to grant bond.
Do you understand that? Do you know what that means for you? You're going to be here for a while.
Gwinnett County investigators believe the murder happened here at this home on Vine Springs Trace near Bethlehem. According to the arrest warrant, detectives believe Barros took a wooden rolling pin and used it to beat her 8-year-old stepdaughter 10 to 20 times, including on the top portion of her neck, and then refused to get medical care for her. She called her husband, who's the girl's father, police tell us. He rushed home, called 911, and attempted CPR on his daughter, but it was too late. Now his wife, the girl's stepmother, is charged with first-degree child cruelty, aggravated assault, felony murder, and malice murder.
I asked one of the police officers what was going on. He said it was something tragic.
Neighbor Isaac Woods was stunned to see all the police activity across the street Tuesday.
Nice and happy family to me.
And again, our thanks to Rebecca Schramm with that report. Also want to turn to another story that we have been following closely as well, and this involves an officer-involved shooting. This situation really causing quite a lot of concern for neighbors there in Marietta, really tense moments in a relatively quiet neighborhood in Cobb County. So now we're getting a better sense of what happened overnight during this officer-involved shooting in Marietta, just along Columns Drive. That is where Atlanta News First reporter Don Shipman has been gathering information from police and also talking with neighbors about what happened. Let's listen.
This is a quiet neighborhood, but it was anything but during the overnight hours. This street right here was lined with police vehicles. This is the 4,000 block of Columns Drive here in Marietta. Both the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Cobb County Police were centering much of their attention on that home with the Christmas lights. Authorities say that Cobb County police officers responded to this area following several 911 calls of a man walking up and down this street armed with a gun. The GBI says that officers confronted the man in front of that house where they asked him to drop his weapon. They say he refused and then fired at officers. Officers responded with equal force, shooting the man.
I still feel safe. I'll think our community's going to get together and just discuss ways in which we can be safer.
This is an affluent neighborhood. It's the River Plantation subdivision. A number of townhomes, there's condos here, all of them sitting up against the Chattahoochee River.
It's a beautiful place. It took me a while for me to find my home. I moved from Buckhead to here, and I see deer, and I just saw an eagle in my backyard yesterday, and it is a beautiful place to live.
The shooter was rushed to Kennesaw Hospital where he's listed in stable condition. Police have not released his name. In Marietta, Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
And, we turn now to the story of the three Georgia soldiers killed in a drone strike in Jordan. So President Joe Biden is expected to be there when the bodies of these three Georgia soldiers arrive at Dover Air Force Base on Friday. 23-year-old Specialist Brianna Moffett, 46-year-old Sergeant William Rivers, 24-year-old Specialist Kennedy Sanders, again, all killed in a drone strike in Jordan. Really a tragic story. And now we are actually learning that the parents of one of the three American soldiers killed, 24-year-old Army Specialist Kennedy Sanders from Waycross, her family got a touching call from the president, the call bringing tears to the eyes of the Sanders family as he gave words of support. Let's listen.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Sean, I wish I didn't have to make this call. I know, everybody, I know there's nothing anybody can say or do to ease the pain. I've been there. And by the way, we're promoting her posthumously to sergeant.
Oh, wow, that is the best news I've heard today. Thank you so much.
Well, clearly very emotional time, and during an interview, Oneida and Sean Sanders shared their pictures and stories of how their 24-year-old daughter Kennedy began serving our country. Of course, our condolences to these families as well. Okay, want to let you know about some new developments surrounding the investigation into former President Donald Trump by the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her office. So one of former President Trump's co-defendants in this Georgia election subversion case is suing the Fulton County District Attorney's office. This is a major development. The accusation here is that prosecutors withheld information that the lawsuit claims could prove allegations of an improper romantic relationship between DA Willis and her top deputy on the case. Lawyers for the co-defendant Mike Roman say that they've filed a civil lawsuit seeking documents and other information and accusing Willis's office of violating Georgia's Open Records Act, which allows the public to access certain government documents. Willis contends her office has turned over some documents and that some of the records being sought just don't exist. That's according to a letter that her office sent last week addressing the records request. Despite consistent communication, you imply that this office has failed to meet its obligation under the Georgia Open Records Act. Respectfully, we disagree with your disingenuous implication, is what the office wrote in a letter. Of course, we continue to follow the latest developments surrounding all this. And speaking of these accusations of an improper relationship, we do know that DA Willis had been subpoenaed to testify in the divorce proceedings of Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor helping lead the Trump investigation. Well, there was supposed to be a hearing today between Nathan Wade and his estranged wife, Jocelyn. Again, they were supposed to be in court. Well, now a settlement has been reached in this divorce case. My colleague Rebecca Schramm has more.
At that divorce hearing in Cobb County, the district attorney here in Fulton County, who is the alleged mistress in the case, was supposed to be at the center of the discussion, but that hearing was canceled because there's been a temporary settlement in that divorce case. Let's catch you up on this. A couple of years ago, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis hired Nathan Wade as the special prosecutor in the Trump case, and so far, her office has paid him more than $650,000 for it. Wade's wife claims he used some of that to take Willis on lavish vacations. That alleged relationship is the basis for a claim by Trump and two co-defendants who want Willis and Wade dismissed from the case. In the meantime, the Georgia Senate has approved a special committee to look into the allegations of misconduct. State Senator Bo Hatchett is on that committee.
It's something that we are going to take seriously. We're going to make sure that public funds were used appropriately, and we're going to look into this as much as we need to.
The judge in the Fulton County Trump case has given DA Willis until Friday to respond to the allegations of the relationship, and he has set a hearing on that for February 15th. No doubt there will be a lot of interest to see what happens in that hearing. In downtown Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
And of course, thanks to Rebecca for that report. I just want to now take you live inside the Fulton County Courthouse for just a moment. We're just showing the seal here, but this is the live camera that we have up inside of the YSL RICO trial. Court is on a lunch recess for the moment, but of course, you know, as I say, our camera is here ready to go. It is focusing on the seal to avoid showing any jurors or anything that is inappropriate to be broadcast. But as soon as court goes back on the record, we're going to take you back in there live. And we just want to encourage you, if you're interested in watching this case, you can get our gavel to gavel coverage on our secondary stream, our special events stream here on Atlanta News First Plus. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.